Okay, I think tonight's video is probably one of the most important videos I've ever made. And I've made over 350 videos, and I would have to say tonight is probably one of my more important videos. And first let me start off with, I thank God for being able to get on YouTube and saying what I really feel and think. I thank God for living in the United States of America with freedom so we can say these First Amendment freedoms. And I thank God that we're a God-fearing nation and individuals do have a platform and a right to speak out and say things. And that YouTube's given us that ability to communicate that through a lot of people. The one thing I want to say is I listened to Donald Trump's speech tonight. He was down in Alabama helping a senator get elected by the name of Luther Strange. And I'm unfortunately listening to the speech for like 45-50 minutes. And the reason I say unfortunately is because the only conclusion I can make of this speech is that, now I'm not a professional, I don't have any degrees in psychology or psychiatry, or I don't study mental illness, but the only thing I can conclude after listening to that speech is Donald Trump is mentally ill. I mean, it's my opinion, but he is a mentally ill individual. And, you know, for the first time in my life, probably not first time in my life, but in the first time in a long time, and anybody who watches my channel knows I'm not a religious man, I'm not a praying man, I do believe in God, but I'm not somebody that's a praying and pushing God on everybody all the time. I don't believe in that, and I think that's self-promotion more than anything. But this is probably one of the first times in a long time I literally had to put my head down and ask God for help. The man is mentally ill. He is absolutely mentally ill, in my opinion. I listened to that speech tonight, and it was so unable to be followed. It was so disjointed. It was scatterbrained. It went all over the place. He said bizarre things. His train of thought and thinking was unfollowable. Could not follow it. It made no sense. And at the end of that speech, I had to sit there and really think about my sanity listening to this man. I mean, if millions and millions of people can follow this guy and elect himself, get himself elected the president of the United States, I got to wonder about where my thinking is. Because I've never seen, I mean, I'm not saying I've never seen anything so disturbing from somebody at that level or that position. That's basically what I'm saying. I've never seen anybody that has that high of authority or position say stuff that just did not make any sense. And I'll give you an example. You know, Trump's talked about the wall quite a bit. You know, tonight he talked about now the wall's got to be see-through. So we got to have a see-through wall. And not only do we have a see-through wall, we got to have a see-through wall because people are using catapults to heave drugs from Mexico border to the United States border, and they're using catapults to do that. It's actually hitting people on the other side. So you know it's how you doing, man?
Good.
I'm just doing a YouTube video.
Huh?
I'm just doing a YouTube video
For where?
for YouTube. I'm a YouTuber. You want to get in it?
So now, so what are you taking?
Well, I'm not taking it. It's just me. See, it's us.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. See, I'm just talking. I'm actually talking about the president's speech tonight, Donald Trump.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering what you want.
Yeah, I'm just, I do a simple YouTube video every night, and I just get through working out of the gym, and it's just, just kind of easy for me to do. What's your name?
Because normally you don't allow videos inside here.
Oh, no, I'm just in the parking lot. No, I wouldn't take a video inside. What's your name?
Dad, it's okay.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Where are you from? Where are you from?
You continue with the video.
Okay, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Looks like interruption there, but got to get back on my train of thought. So, where were we? Donald Trump's mental illness. Like I was saying, the catapult thing. He actually said that people are catapulting drugs from one side to the other and that people are getting hit on the American side. This is crazy stuff. A see-through wall. I guess now we have a glass wall. And then he does this thing where he says something and then he looks at everybody and says, well, folks, believe me, I'm telling the truth. You know, this fake media out here, I'm the only person that tells the truth. So he's got to make everything he says followed with a statement of how he's so intelligent, how he's so smart, and how he's the only one that tells the truth. I'm speechless. I really am. Hopefully people can see that through this video, that I'm absolutely speechless. I really fear for the United States of America and this guy. He's mentally ill. This guy, Kim Il-jung from North Korea, he's right. He's right. Trump is mentally ill. He is mentally ill. You know, and then he goes off. He cannot stay on a train of thought for more than just a few seconds. He'll be talking along, and then he talks about Melania. Oh, Melania! Everybody loves Melania, don't they? And he tries to get everybody to respond to that. And then he talks about this thing where she was on the plane, and they have so much respect for the White House that she was wearing high heels. But you know, she's on the plane with high heels, and then when she got off in Texas, she changed to sneakers, and how everybody dissed her for that. I mean, really bizarre stuff. I mean, you know, and he had to cover that, and then he injects the NFL into it, and how the NFL is losing people watching, and they had to. Now the players can't hit each other. It's a 15-yard penalty. It's ruining the game. And then he goes on about the stock market, how wonderful the stock market is, and how people are coming up and hugging him and kissing him that are heads of companies because he's gotten the stock market to be so good. You know, it just doesn't flow. It's all over the place. It makes no sense. He talks about things that just are absolutely bizarre. I mean, only thing I can say is they are bizarre. They are what people would say if they were mentally ill. Kind of hard to follow. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't flow. Really strange stuff. I mean, Donald Trump gets a lot of credibility because people associate him with being a businessman and being a successful businessman and being worth a lot of money. So for those reasons, they give him an automatic pass. If Donald Trump was stripped of his money, his position, and his his power, and he was walking down the street and walked up to the average person and started talking to that person would have to say, hey, I'm sorry, guy, I gotta go. I'm busy now, I can't talk to you. Because it would be, you could not carry on a conversation with this man. You literally could not carry a conversation on with this guy. That's how it would be. You could not converse with him back and forth. There's no way you could have an intelligent conversation with this man. So if he was stripped of everything tomorrow morning and was just an ordinary person walking down the street, he could not find anybody that's has any sanity about him to carry on any kind of conversation with you. That's how mentally disturbed and ill this guy is. He really is. I mean, if Trump isn't mentally ill, then I got to start considering who I am and what I think, and my mental illness, because this guy is strange. He's a strange dude. Very, very bizarre. And I have to say, and I'm going to conclude the video here pretty quick because it's getting kind of long. The only thing I've got to hope is that Trump is mentally ill in a benign way and not a dangerous way. Because if his mental illness is of the dangerous side, where he follows through with something like his threats with North Korea, or he follows through with some nuclear action on another country, God help us all. And that's why I had to bow my head tonight, probably the first time in a long, long time, and actually pray and hope for some help and some guidance from a power above, greater than me, or greater than people around me, or greater than our country. Because Trump is very, very, very seriously, he's a very disturbed person, very, very disturbed person. And I kind of feel that sometimes when you look at his wife. I can, I've been married 35 years, and I can kind of tell when women aren't into guys. And I can tell that his wife's not into him, just from my own perspective. I can kind of tell. She looks at him and kind of rolls her eyes with this guy. And I'm telling you, if you were probably around this guy all the time, you could not get away from him fast enough. He's probably one of these people that just makes you feel so uncomfortable to be around. You have to spend time with him because he's just so narcissistic. He's just so bizarre, and it sounds like he's the kind of guy that he's got to be the center of everything. So it's like if you're talking to him, he talks about these. He talked a little bit earlier about these senators that are trying to get him, or he's trying to get them to vote for this healthcare thing, the repeal of Obamacare. And he goes on about how, yeah, they want me to go to dinner with them. And you cannot believe it, people. I have to go to dinner with these people. And then after I have to go to dinner with these people, I have to meet their wife and their friends. And you can't believe how much work this is. I got to actually interact with these people. I got to actually, act like I care. Pretend like I really kind of get along with these people to get their vote. But not this guy named Luther, Big Luther. And then he goes on about this guy from Alabama and how big he is. Oh, it's Big Luther. And I brand people with names. I tell people a name and it sticks with them. That's my brand. It's like he's trying to brand Rocket Man and how he branded Low Energy Bush and all this stuff, Low Energy Jeb. So he's got this thing about him, like he brands people with names. So he's branded this guy, Big Luther, because I guess he's tall. I don't even know how tall he is, but he's Big Luther. And he goes on about that. And I asked Big Luther for his help, and he just said, yeah, Big Luther, and that's why I'm down here. So this guy's, everything's about him. It's like I was watching this thing about when he was at the United Nations. He was going on about he had a building right across from the United Nations, and he started bragging about his building. I got a building right across here from the United Nations, and he's there to represent the United States in the world conference, and he's got to talk about his real estate next door. So he must be a very, very difficult person to be around because of his energy and because of the fact that he's so self-absorbed that I can understand how his wife is repulsed by this man. And how when she's walking around him, she acts like she just wants to get away from him. Because he must just drive you fucking nuts. That's probably why she stayed in New York and he went to Washington, D.C. She probably needs to get away from this guy to maintain her mental sanity or stability. So whatever. God help the United States of America. This man is mentally ill, in my opinion. And you know what? More people need to stand up and say so. I thank God I got the ability to do so. I don't have to feel in fear of a job or feel in fear of people retaliating against me. Sure, people say nasty things to me, and I've had people threaten me, and I've had people say, that I'm crazy and that I should respect the president, and that I should shut my effing mouth because, the Donald's our president. Now what we need to do is support him. Thank God I don't have to worry about retaliation, and thank God that so far no one's done anything to me that's been too threatening or too serious, and thank God I'm able to say these things, and thank God I don't have to worry about somebody coming and arresting me for this. That I can stand up and say, hey, the guy's got mental illness, and of course, in my opinion, like I said, I'm not a health care person, but in my opinion, he's mentally ill, and I can say that without some secret police coming in and arresting me. So anyway, it's been kind of a long rambling video, but after it is an important topic, an important issue. I just hope over a period of time people get it too. And if they don't get it, I probably need your prayers because there's something vastly wrong with me. Because I really tried to listen to this man tonight and really tried to focus on what he said because I was hoping to glean some information for a YouTube video because I like to make YouTube videos. I like to make them about people in politics because I that's something I speak easily of. I have a little bit of interest in it, and I can make it's a topic I can cover. Even though it's not my business or I'm not a politician, I can just kind of talk easily about it because I have an opinion, and most people do. So that's why I make these videos, and I was hoping to get something good out of his video. I didn't only got something good. I got something that just really was disturbing, which is how weird and incoherent this man really is. And that's really a good way of describing incoherent, unable to understand, or unable to really discern or make sense. God darn it. It just simply cannot make any sense. Bizarre person. Very, very strange man. I wouldn't trade places with him in a million years. If I had to go through life looking at things and thinking of the way he does, I don't care if I had $100 billion, I wouldn't do it. I don't care if I had all the power in the world and was the president of the whole world, I wouldn't do it. I would not change places with that man. He's that fucking weird. So anyway, I appreciate you watching. Like I say, probably one of the more one of my videos that I probably feel the most passionate about. So I appreciate you listening. It's almost 15 minutes. Thank you.